How can you have a hip hop and R&B festival
it's not gonna happen.
with no swearing?
Swearing.
Whoa, cut out the music. He just said the F word.
Headlining Will Smith every year.
I respect my wife. I look after her kids.
We're back.
You say that every week.
Yeah, I know.
Every week we're
Because we are back every week.
We're back. I haven't
But
left.
I
don't leave.
Yeah, but before we start, I came prepared.
I can't wait until I
Because I want to point out that Usain Bolt has never taken any performance drugs, ever.
When it comes out, the idiots will be like, that's the tea.
When it comes out, you know. Stop with your germophobia.
We're going back into this.
No, I just wanted to clear that up and we can
Clear it
start.
up.
We can start.
He's not been with him again on Usain Bolt. We can start off with him. What is it? It's really complicated because it's that Australian team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't he? So apparently the coach has said we haven't offered him a contract. We don't offer him his contract.
Agent has said.
The agent said they have offered us a contract. The team have gone, we don't know what we're doing yet. But then the league in Australia have gone, oh no, they've offered him a contract.
Yeah. Sounds like I've seen that in the movie.
Guy's a law unto himself.
Yeah, because he's Usain.
He can run really fast. Big deal.
Don't hate. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. So we'll start off. It's been in the news today. Wireless Festival in Finsbury Park, hasn't it?
Was it in the news?
Was it in the news? I saw it on Twitter. It'll be in some people's news, wouldn't it? People are like, you want to go to Wireless every year, Finsbury Park. They've had licence restrictions put on, haven't they?
Yes.
Apparently.
And about time too.
Sound restrictions, and then one of them, the artists that go there aren't allowed to swear.
I didn't even see that in the
Use offensive
committee.
gestures.
Where was that?
Or
Is
slogans.
that a part of the
It's
same?
it's in the licence restriction.
Okay.
That's come through. Use offensive gestures, swear. I think the time that it finishes has had to change as well.
Yeah, they're making it earlier finish on the Sunday.
Yeah, because there's all the arguments, isn't it? Well, Glastonbury doesn't have to do this and stuff. But I think there's less trouble at Glastonbury, isn't there? And we've all seen the videos of people like breaking in.
Yeah.
You see them busting down the gate, and the security guys just stood there like.
That happened one time.
Nah, I've seen it more times than that. And you
Happened one time.
see everyone scrapping outside, leaving
I
and
haven't
stuff.
seen that. I don't go to them, so I'm not invested.
I haven't
They
been
could
to-
turn the music off for all I care.
I haven't seen the one at Finsbury
Mostly
Park,
Migos
isn't
that
it?
go there anyway, so I don't have business.
Yeah, your favourites.
I don't business. All it is some people that live in that area upset because for 3 days.
But I suppose it makes
year.
sense. But I suppose it makes sense though that you'll be upset if you live there if like something just turned up one year on your doorstep in like 3 days a year and completely ruins your weekend and all you can hear is music and Migos music and Post Malone blaring out. And then all the trouble that happens afterwards and stuff like that. And that's why festivals, I think...
Go away for the weekend.
Yeah, no, but inner city festivals don't work for that reason because it's people already live there. I get the arguments when you see like clubs that have been there for years and years have restrictions put on because a new development's opened up. It's like, hang on a minute, this club's been here for 20, 30 years. Someone's moved in 3 weeks ago and they're moaning about the noise. You would have known about that when you moved in. It's flipping the script, isn't it, when it's a festival just rocks up. But I suppose it is 3 days a year. But I
It's 3
get
days
it.
a year.
But
And this goes back to a bigger problem, like because people say I'm old and stuff, but they will never party like that because we didn't have no restrictions when I was younger. Like we could make as much noise as we wanted.
yeah, but I think with these restrictions coming, I don't think they'll go back there. Because how can you have a hip hop and R&B festival
it's not gonna happen.
with no swearing?
Swearing.
Whoa, cut out the music. He just said the F word.
Headlining Will Smith every year.
I respect my wife. I look after her kids. Popping up and down like, West Philadelphia, born and raised. There's Will Smith for 3 hours.
That's the way they're gonna have to go.
So I think they'll move. Maybe move them out of London. Maybe something like Birmingham.
Where it was when I went, which
Didn't
was,
they do it in Birmingham one year? They did, didn't they?
Oh,
They split it between the two, didn't they? They did it in Birmingham one year.
when I went, they did it at the Olympic Village, so it was out of the way.
That's Finsbury Park.
Was that the
That's
same
Finsbury
place?
Park, yeah, I'm sure.
How is that affecting anybody? That's out of the way.
You get people living near there, mate. You get people living there. But sorry, teachers all the time. I have no idea this was going on. I couldn't get the tube this morning because it's full of youths. It's full of youths carrying knives.
That was so out of the way. I don't see what their problem is. That was
No, but there's
cool.
all developments there and stuff now, I think. Especially in the Olympic Village, you see all the flats and that. And
But deal with it.
yeah.
You came there. That was there before you.
I don't think you can't argue that. It's been there like
You absolutely
three times. I get it though.
Somebody moves in my back garden, I'm playing music, you have to deal with it.
But then I suppose make some fun of it. If you're staying in, you can hear it all. Have a barbecue.
Why don't they just campaign?
White people and barbecues though.
Oh well, black people and barbecues. Why campaign to get free VIP tickets or something? Like get something out of it.
You really think what's going to cure people complaining about it is if we give them a free VIP ticket?
Yeah.
Jeffrey, 73, that's lived there for 30 years. Well, I was moaning about it and they gave me free VIP and I got backstage access.
Have you ever tried? Speak to Jeffrey. Jeffrey probably always wanted to be a rapper. Never got the chance. You want to come up stage for 5 minutes, Jeffrey?
Chilling
5 minutes.
Chilling backstage with Section Boys.
It could work.
I didn't like this before, but I've got a newfound love for it.
Thank you.
It's never going to happen, is it? It's never going to happen. But then I suppose all they can hear from the hell is all that kind of stuff.
For 3 days
Then-
a year.
What's put the stipulation in, because it's specific in the restrictions, saying about they're not allowed to swear, use offensive gestures, or have anything, offensive slogans on their clothing or anything? What? Why did someone put
You
that
telling
in?
me Jeffrey ain't being wireless and knows what they're wearing and what they're saying? Because you can't hear vocals where you live. You just like, that's all you hear.
It depends how close
They
Jeffrey lives.
went and had a bad experience.
I don't think Jeffrey went.
Jeffrey went.
He
went with Doris.
He'd stick out like a white pensioner at Wireless Festival. Literally.
There was pensions where I went. They were.
What?
Wasn't it? They were getting down. They were grooving, man. Trust
So
me.
what?
ASAP Rocky.
Little bear bitches of the fucking velvet. Jeffrey there was someone daggering on him. I think probably the restrictions have been put in place, probably because policing afterwards is costing a lot of money. Just because, and not to do with the demographic there whatsoever, but actually to do with the demographic that goes, they're going to add on more policing because the sheer amount of people that are there, people management, it's an absolute fucking nightmare. Then you put into the account that it's an inner city London festival, the demographic that's going, when you think about gangland violence there anyway, I'm not saying it's really bad, but everyone in the same place at one time, when it gets to kicking out time, when everyone's had their fun, so let's have a scrap now. But the other side of the coin, removing the gangland violence kind of thing, my sister went to the festival that Childish Gambino headlined. Leaving, the events management was awful. There was crushes as they were coming out because the site wasn't big enough, and it was awful getting out. There was people being crushed. One guy fell over, lost his phone, tried to get it, couldn't get it because there was a sheer amount of people pushing through. So maybe it's just the fact that inner city festivals don't work in London. Or they need to look at how many tickets they sell for them.
But it has worked.
But then is it
Like
because...
wireless has worked. There's no denying that it has worked.
But then is it the fact that the market now is oversaturated, but there's so many, and so many more people go to them now? Whereas before they were popular but weren't that popular. Now that's all people do, festivals. And there seems to be one every other weekend there now.
There's the real reason that I think this is coming into play is because people don't like people having fun anymore.
True.
And I think there's a level of control that people think they're losing the control of people. So let's put in more, let's reinforce this with like, okay, you can have this, but you have to abide by this. Whereas back in the day, it used to be just a festival. You just enjoy yourself, go there and come home. That's what I did when I first went. And I think there's a level of, people generally don't like people having fun anymore.
But you see, they're trying to clamp down on Notting Hill, don't they?
Look, Northampton Carnival.
Didn't even know we had one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I do. I remember once I saw some of the floats come past when I was at Asda.
Exactly, but they
float. I meant by a lorry with the back of it taken off and a woman in a tutu on it, and some reggae music playing.
They're constantly clamping down on these things, and it just seems like you just don't want people to be enjoying themselves.
So do you reckon it's sort of the health and safety police taking over of everything?
Just the police, not law enforcement. I'm just saying,
people
just cultural policing people.
Well,
to say you can't.
Have you filled out a form? I wrote an email. My name's Jeffrey. You haven't filled out the right forms. Fuck off, Jeffrey. Go on holiday to Madeira. Go on holiday to Madeira or something.
Come back
no
Monday,
one cares.
all cleared up, no problem. But I just think generally across the board, things are just getting so policed now.
So do you think if wireless as a result of these restrictions being put in place, because can you imagine as a festival booker, you're trying to book acts and you're saying to Skepta, ASAP Rocky, we'll give you X amount of money, come play at the festival, but you can't swear. You're not gonna get the bookings, and that's the draw, especially for a festival like Wireless, because it's the only urban festival. Because they changed their target demographic, didn't they? A couple of years ago, it was tended to be pop, and then it moved across to
they killed it, and so
some people seen Young Jeezy at Hyde Park.
Yeah, I don't think Wireless will ever be what it was anyway. So they could kill it off, and it doesn't make any difference. Because the headliners they used to have, they right now can't book those headliners.
But then is that because the music now is more mainstream now, that those headliners that they used to have can go to other bigger festivals? Because you had Kanye West and stuff doing Wireless, because I think he did it twice, didn't he? And then he gets booked for Glastonbury, and there's always talk of urban, I fucking hate that term anyway, but an urban artist headlining Glastonbury again. Like there's
Jay-Z,
and then there's talk next year maybe being Kendrick Lamar, because they like going for that sort of left field. So I think if Wireless dies as a result of this, it will not be missed.
No, it won't be missed. But that's the entire point, because those headliners can go to other festivals now, whereas Wireless was set up to be, this is your festival. So you had Justin Timberlake, you had Jay-Z, you had the Kanye West, Kendricks. This is the festival for these big names. But then and then it just died a death. Like,
on the other hand, people would go to festivals and then they'd see artists that they hadn't heard of before, and then they'd follow them as a result of that. Whereas I think now you're seeing artists that haven't even had a major release or anything at all are selling out little venues around London and up and down the country because they've had a big hit on YouTube.
It was a case of you've seen it probably a couple of years after the first time I went to Wireless, and I was like, I don't know who these people are. What's the draw for me to go?
Yeah.
When I first went, it was Tribe Called Quest, Nas, Jay-Z, Kanye, Kendrick. These people were okay, I'm gonna go. But now, it's.
But then is that because you're getting old?
Is it because I'm getting old, or is that because music is deteriorating more and more every fucking year?
But that could be. You could bring the age argument into that as well.
No. Music,
we would say that.
No, because Marvin Gaye is still good, and that wasn't my generation. Yeah? Good music is good music. It doesn't matter how old you are. This is the most redundant argument ever. Okay? Okay?
Right.
I don't like it, so it's you're too old. No, it's shit. Okay? Migos are shit, and I will say that.
How have you dragging these into it?
Fuck Migos.
You've been to Wireless then, so what's the best act you've seen?
The best act
Wireless?
I've seen was Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z. They killed it on stage.
I saw Kanye West, and he absolutely, as Jeffrey would say, stole the show. But no, he was amazing. I think he was like 45 minutes late, as he usually is. I don't think he did. I think it was just before he started doing those rants and stuff. But yeah, that was one of the best.
But still, I've seen Nas, and he killed it. A$AP Rocky killed it. Big Sean killed it. Same time. They killed it, like performance-wise. Rizzle kicks were shit.
We've had this conversation. What Rizzle kicks?
I
saw Rizzle kicks. XOYO in Shoreditch, and they're really good. But that was a tiny little venue.
Maybe it's because you're so young.
You fool, look. I can't see Wireless going back to Finsbury Park if these restrictions are in place. How can you have a rap, R&B, hip hop festival for all the artists? How can you have a festival with restrictions and stipulations put in place that include not wearing offensive slogans and not swearing? Because the artists want to be there and do their own thing, and they're not going to go. They're not going to play if they've got these restrictions.
If the restrictions are in place, then
they'll have to move.
No, it's done for Wireless, because
everywhere,
anywhere they go, somebody's going to try and get those same restrictions.
Or they'll completely move, so it's not an inner city festival anymore. It could go somewhere where, like a lot of the festivals are, where they're outside of inner city.
Yeah, but what you're talking about now is you're losing your demographic from that area that's going to come to Wireless.
I still think people who travel though.
I don't know.
Do you not?
No, these guys don't travel.
Well, fucking London's got the best transport links in the country. They haven't even finished Crossrail. They're starting Crossrail too.
They ain't travelling.
Sick of it. You got shitty Ricky Rackety trains. They're digging tunnels for fun down there.
Yeah. I don't think it will survive for the pure fact that everybody now will jump on that. Okay, now we've got a grounds to.
I think they'll move.
Turn this stuff down.
I think they'll move, and they might even move out of London, so it might end up being in Birmingham or something. V Festival, Virgin pulled their sponsorship for it, and they redid it again, didn't they, with new sponsorship? I think they're in the same. No, they went to a different place in Essex, because I don't think the site they were using in Essex wanted them there anymore. But they just completely rebranded it and moved somewhere else. So I think Wireless could do the same thing.
Yeah, could try. So do you think it's because they're booking UK acts, the demographic has changed from who's going to actually attend these?
So it sort of goes back to the point where I said about, I think with stuff like this, when you have a lot of people, especially in the city of London, going, and the key demographic for some of the headline acts, Skepta, Section Boys, the likes of that sort of going, you have gangs going, which will people from the outside looking in will think they are. You have people going there having a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to drink, and other things they're partaking in. And I think what happens is there's not trouble happening at the festival. It's when they're leaving, or the police are just looking at it going, we can't be fucked to plan for this. We're stretched enough as it is. I think they've got to move because I don't think they can survive at Finsbury Park. Regardless, UK or American artists.
I think it absolutely will survive, and it goes down to that the thing you think is negative, the age thing, because when they were doing that, they had a demographic that wasn't out there to just cause trouble. They had a demographic of people that just came to listen to Tribe Called Quest, played some old songs from the 90s. Now you've got all the youths. The youths are the ones causing trouble. Ain't no 40-year-old man out there trying to cause trouble.
I don't know, have you seen some of the clips from the races and stuff?
From the what?
From the races, when people go to the races at Ascot and that, and they're all scrapping. Someone did the break.
That's white people, that's different.
No, but suppose the argument's there. There's more trouble at Ascot races, not Ascot races generally, but race courses around the country when it's that the Gold Cup at Cheltenham, and you see all the scraps and the fighting going on there. There's more trouble there statistically, I've seen. Yeah. White people. Every year, isn't it? The build up towards Notting Hill Carnival. It happened this year. Cancel it, the amount of stuff that goes on, and you have all the scare stories. This year it was we're going to have the acid attacks, or the gangs that are going to ascend on Notting Hill and all that stuff. And they're constantly trying to clamp down on it and try and get rid of it. I think the establishment, we can call them, don't like it, do they? Don't want it there anymore. But when you look at the statistics, it's over 1 million people descend on that area of London over the weekend. I think if you tally up I think someone did it, you tally up the crime per person compared to that, or the crimes that are committed for the sheer amount of people that there compared to Glastonbury, the numbers are much, much higher.
Really?
But no one talks about it. Why?
We know why. You just have to say it out loud.
I suppose you said sort of the fun police descending, and you've got something that's completely free that you go to, and it's people celebrating together, celebrating culture, celebrating stuff that necessarily people don't like. And
you're forgetting how many people wanted to shut down Glastonbury.
True.
You know, these are not just festivals. They say, oh yeah, that was okay. They just don't like people having fun. You can go to a farm somewhere, acres and acres of land, and try and just put some music on.
People don't like it.
And the police will descend on you.
But illegal raves. Illegal raves and stuff, isn't it? It's like,
what's the problem? Like, who's it?
But then, I suppose the argument is, if they don't like people having these illegal raves where people are partying because it's unsafe, then when people are doing it in a safe environment where they've got
they still don't want
St John's ambulance and people there,
they don't want people having fun.
Who does?
Young people.
Oh, we're getting into conspiracies now. It's the establishment.
It's not even that deep. It's just generally.
Jeffrey.
Yes, Jeffrey. People like Jeffrey don't like people having fun.
Do you think Jeffrey's married to Doris?
Jeffrey.
No, he divorced Doris.
Divorced Doris. That's what Doris is on a wireless. Because Doris was out having
Doris
fun.
was at wireless, and Jeff was like, "Bitch,
fucking
I'm gonna end this right now." That's
should have
what.
signed a prenup, motherfucker. See you later.
That's what happened. True story.
But you see it all the time, because I remember the first time I was thinking about going to Carnival, and you're saying people go, oh, you got to watch out. So much trouble happens there. It's ridiculous. You got to watch out. It gets rowdy. So, yeah, but you can have the argument for when a massive group of people get together anyway. Anywhere. It doesn't matter what demographic it is. We're touching it when people go to the races and you get all the bloody Y boys turning up and all the stockbrokers and they're all geared off their nut.
Boxing matches. MMA fights.
Did you see the clip? There was a Frank Warren show. It was in Essex, and apparently it was Millwall and West Ham fans. They were all just scrapping. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If that was a rave or something, people are like, ugh. Because of where it is now. Because when it started, Notting Hill wasn't an area that was full of affluent, rich people. It was an area, a lot of people that go and celebrate it now, it was for them. But now it's not that anymore. It's proper gentrified and stuff like that. But it still goes there. So people are like, oh, I have to leave. I have to leave August Bank Holiday weekend every year and go to Monaco, and I just can't do it anymore. I have to board up my house. But then on the same breath, you have the people that still live there that open up their houses and they did a thing where you can go in there and use the loo and stuff like that. So I suppose it's a double-edged sword, or there's two sides to the same coin. But I agree with Steph on. I think it's just people don't like people having fun and getting together when they aren't making anything from it. Like you think Notting Hill Carnival, that hasn't been descended on by sponsors. You're not charged for entry. There isn't stuff there selling something to someone, or there isn't an agenda. It's just literally, come on guys, let's all get together, let's have fun. 1 weekend a year, celebrate everything that's great about where we're from and what we do.
There was a generation, I'm talking about 90s and stuff like that, where you could just enjoy yourself. And it's completely taken apart now. And it's like, it's got to a point where, and you have to take into account everything that we're talking about here. Wireless and stuff like that. This is nothing new. We had those concerts growing up. We had places we could go. There was trouble, there was... But things went bad, things went good. It's nothing new. This is not like all of a sudden these concerts have come. It's just got to the point where tolerance is diminished. Tolerance of people is diminished.
I remember like being younger and growing up and going to raves and festivals and stuff. And the thing you get from people, you're going there and getting absolutely fucked up and off your head. And that's not why you went. You went because literally it's to go and have a good time with your friends and have a shared experience with other like-minded people. And some of my closest friends are people that I went to raves and festivals with, and I wouldn't see them for like 3 months of the year. We'd only see each other when we got together because they lived in Birmingham or different various parts of the country. And that's the reason. But then people that don't partake in that kind of thing look down on it.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know whether it's bitterness or jealousy, or it's because they're misinformed, because all they're reading is shit in the Daily Mail. And obviously the only news they're getting from these kind of things is someone got stabbed. I remember going to see Swedish House Mafia at Milton Keynes Bowl and someone got stabbed. You don't really hear about that. But if Young Jeezy or a drill act was playing, it'd be plastered all over the news.
So what are we saying here?
3 white Swedish guys playing on some decks in Milton Keynes Bowl.
So what we're saying, because we're skirting the issue, the issue then is it's black artists or black communities getting together to do something. That's the issue.
But I suppose it's because people look at it, if it's a load of people from that demographic getting together, they're only getting together for one reason, because they want to have a scrap and have a fight at the end of the day. But then stereotypes. But then you don't apply that demographic to people that go to the football every week.
Yeah,
but you hear it all the time, and you hear trouble happens on nights out all the time, and you don't hear about it. There's fights and serious assaults happens on nights out
every night.
And then
every town.
What was it? The bird off Towie, Fern McCann, her ex-boyfriend, I think the father to her child, or I think it might be the father to her child, it might not be, so correct me if I'm wrong. He's been arrested and he's in prison for doing an acid attack in Dalston, near where some of my friends live. You don't really hear about that. You've heard about it, but it's not. That's major news in that area. Someone that's in Towie, a flagship show for ITV2, or ITV fuck off B or whatever it's called. Her partner dashed acid into someone's face to the point where they had to evacuate the club. Oh no, it was a warehouse rave, completely legal. Dashed acid in someone's face to the point where it was so toxic and whatever, they had to evacuate the venue. It kind of gets brushed under the carpet a little bit. It was in the news a bit, but it's just, I don't know. It's scaremongering, and it's sort of trying to put down, like you say, people having fun. And then there was the licensing restrictions they brought in for East London and Hackney and stuff, that any new venue, or the venues there now, have to have a curfew. They have to be closed by midnight. So you're killing nightlife. Like, that's a major boost to economy and stuff. But gentrification, Jeffrey with his billions, or Jeffrey Busky coming from Russia building blocks of flats, don't like that shit. They don't want people out in the street having fun. And when people get together and have fun, there is a negative impact. There always will be. People being sick, people fighting. But we can deal with that, we can handle that.
Yeah.
It's nothing major.
It's minor on the major scale of things.
And like
Rather, we all come together.
Are we gonna stop the Cheltenham Gold Cup because there's a ridiculous amount of arrests.
Or every football
arrests
match
there because
around the country.
because people are fighting because they get too pissed and they're drinking all day and they lose their bets at their race and they all start scrapping before they get in the minibuses. Are we going to stop that there? Because if we're applying the argument of nightlife and some urban music venues and stuff like that, if we're applying that argument to the races, cancel fucking horse racing. And with horse racing, you've got the added argument of RSPCA. They're whipping horses to death. This horse can't even going to make money for glue. Bang! Shooting in the fucking... But don't worry, they put the little thing around it so no one sees them killing the horse in front of everyone. What do I think is next for wireless and urban festivals? It's a tough one. I don't think... I think you can apply it to a lot of things because it seems to be the fun police is completely cracking down on everything. That everything's being pushed into that... If they're not making massive amounts of money, that illegal kind of thing, going to a warehouse, finding a warehouse, doing that.
That's literally where it's going because, as we said earlier, I think once you can enforce those restrictions on one festival, one concert, that's going to trickle down.
So I think festivals and stuff are being pushed, and the demographic and the people that go to those festivals are being pushed towards these illegal gatherings. Because,
it's going to happen.
Because the legal gatherings are either so made corporate to the point where they're so sanitised that people don't want to go because they're not going to see the acts they want to see.
This is the whole point. It's like, okay, we'll make this so hard for you to do legally that when you do it illegally, we're going to bust it up.
Yeah.
So that's it.
But the thing is, when it's happening legally, people are having as much fun as well. Anyway,
who's going to go to wireless? This is going to complete it. Who's going to go wireless and like, I can't hear. Wait.
Oh no, I've been to a festival in London.
They'll do one more and people go, that was shit. And
I've been to a festival, inner city festival, SW4, so it's dance music and electronic music in Clapham Common. And at past 8 o'clock, because of the noise restrictions that were put in place by the licensees, I was standing at the front, music's playing, and I'm having a full-blown conversation like we're having right now. I'm supposed to be watching fucking Bicep, blasting tunes out. I'm sat in a conversation. It's like, this is fucking shit.
Maybe we should.
Cut the cameras, man.
These guys
Are we wrong?
superstar now. Look, they've got their own drink pouring.
Would you like one, Jack?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay.
I'm all right.
That's it.
I'm sorry, these guys. This
want
is
just
what
that?
you get when
Yeah.
you go to Applewood. Your assistant pouring.
Thank you.
Do you see this shit? I'm seeing this shit. I ain't believing it though.
Show the fucking talent.
When do I get? What about my drink? I got sliders.
No one knows you, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Behind the
Okay,
camera.
we're rolling camera, rolling sound.
Okay.
Fake Garage episode 9.
Fake
Part
Garage.
That's almost 7.
Yeah.
one.
I swear to
Take
God it was.
1. Action.